So, Dr. Waltz, regarding your studies and your clinical research, what were the most significant findings from your studies on the Wahls
Well,
protocol you found?
yeah. So the very first study that we did is it's called a safety and feasibility study. And we were looking at this very complicated regimen that I used for my own recovery. The modified paleo diet, targeted supplements, a mantra-based meditation, electrical stimulation of muscles, and exercise. And we recruited people who were like me, secondary progressive or primary progressive multiple sclerosis. So you anticipate this relentless decline. There's no longer this relapsing remitting phase. And these people were seriously disabled. They had really significant fatigue. The level of disability was between cane and walker as a group. People could implement the diet. 95% of the days people were following the study diet. They had, I think on average, 13 minutes of meditation every day. They were able to do their exercise, electrical stimulation of muscles every day. By the end of the study, they're up to 20 minutes of exercise daily and 90 minutes of electrical stimulation daily. So they could do this complicated regimen. It's extraordinary. We didn't know if people, seriously disabled folks, could do this complicated regimen. The answer is yes, they could. The adverse event was if you were overweight or obese, you lost weight without being hungry. That's a really
Awesome.
wonderful adverse event, you know. So we'd have to report those changes to my IRB every 6 months. And then the effect size, we had a clinically significant reduction in fatigue, p-value 0.0005, really quite remarkable. We had significant improvements in quality of life. We had significant reduction in anxiety, depression, significant improvements in verbal reasoning, spatial reasoning. And people get worried like, oh my God, you're eating all that meat, you're gonna make your cholesterol, go haywire. In fact, total cholesterol goes down, triglycerides go down, the LDL cholesterol goes down, and the good cholesterol, the HDL cholesterol, goes up. And so we kept writing grants to try and do a randomized controlled study of the same intervention. I could not get funding to do that, unfortunately. I could get funding to do diet studies. So then we switched over to doing diet-only studies of the modified paleo diet, and the ketogenic diet. And again, we're able to show that people could implement the diet, lipids changed favorably, fatigue went down, quality of life improved, and hand function, interesting enough, also improved. Then we did a study comparing the low saturated fat diet, known as the SWANK diet, the modified paleo diet, again, also known as the Wahls diet. And we had an observation period, randomized, you have the two diets. We could show that both the SWANK and the Wahls diet led to reduced fatigue, better quality of life. Wahls was better than SWANK for many of the measures, but not all. The observation period, you got worse. So as no surprise. And now we're doing a study comparing the modified paleo diet and the ketogenic diet to usual diet. People will come in, they will get randomized to one of those three diets. Then they'll come back in 3 months for another check. And then in 24 months, and this study includes MRIs. So we're super excited. We'll to see what's happening with brain structure. And we'll have patient-reported outcomes of fatigue, quality of life, mood, and we'll have clinical outcomes of walking, hand, vision, and some working memory. It'll be one of the largest, longest dietary intervention studies that will have been done to date. Melody, we're obtaining saliva and blood so that I'll be able to do some using artificial intelligence, analyze, are there ways for us to predict who would respond well to the ketogenic diet, who would respond well to the paleo diet, based on perhaps their baseline metabolites and their baseline microbiome.
So the saliva
It's very
test.
exciting stuff.
Yeah, the saliva test for microbiome.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a different microbiome in the mouth than in the stool. It's way easier to collect saliva than stool. And so many researchers, including our lab, were switching over to saliva for that reason. So that because what we eat, determines what's in our stool, but it also determines what's in our mouth. It'll give us a lot of information about the health of the microbiome that we have on our skin, in our mouth, in our gut, because we all rely on our microbial friends to help us do the chemistry of life. And if we haven't been good stewards of our microbial friends, we have lost out some of the help. And so by monitoring the microbiome, we'll have a better sense of, do we have the right stewards on board or not?
Wow. So it's exciting to see all these achievements in the science, and the potential advancement in this field is just really,
it is huge.
I mean, huge, huge. A few years ago, if you say somebody from MS restored their health, you wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it. But now MS is easily manageable, controllable, and who knows, maybe in a few years we know about ALS, we know about other ones, and goes on.
We are learning more and more that there is so much that we can do that will impact disease course.
Absolutely. What we are doing to our body, what we are eating, what we are breathing, what we are drinking, all of that, all of that.